I'm Augustus, and I'm traveling in the United States to talk to the people I meet and to tell them about my candidacy for President of the United States in 2028. I'm here in Augusta, Maine at the State House. It represents a state that has always been defined by its independence, its rugged coastline, and its vast, beautiful wilderness. From the first light that touches the nation at West Quoddy Head to the deep woods of the North Country, Maine has always known the value of hard work and self-reliance. The motto of Maine is Dirigo, I lead. It is a bold statement for a state that often sets the tone for the rest of the country, but leading requires looking after one another. For many of us today, that leadership feels distant as we struggle with the rising cost of heating our homes during long winters and the challenge of keeping our local communities vibrant as younger generations move away in search of opportunity. They call this vacation land, but for those who live and work here year-round, it's a land of grit and determination. From the lobstermen in Casco Bay to the farmers in Aroostook County and the papermakers who have been the backbone of your towns for generations, I know your resilience is being tested. You're facing a healthcare system that is difficult to access in rural areas, and an economy that often feels like it only caters to the summer crowds while leaving the locals behind. This is the 47th capital of my 50 plus 1 capitals tour. My plan seems obvious and necessary to me, but for other presidential candidates, it could be considered unnecessary, maybe even a waste of time. The plan is to visit every capital in this country over the course of about 60 days, not to give motivational speeches, but to listen. I want to hear about the struggles of maintaining Maine's infrastructure and how the changing climate affects your working waterfronts. I want to hear about the opioid crisis that has touched so many families in Maine, and why, despite your hard work, the cost of living continues to outpace your paycheck. My priority isn't asking you to carry more, it's making sure that we take the weight off your shoulders. Unfortunately, it seems we're being led currently by people who only care about the next 24 hours, while you care about the next 24 years. They're focused on their bank accounts, while you're focused on feeding your family. To lead in Maine, you have to be honest enough to say what everyone already feels. When the shops on Main Street are boarded up and the local schools are struggling, something is broken. It's not just the system, it's the reality that getting ahead has been replaced by getting by. You're working twice as hard just to stay in the exact same place. To lead the whole country, you have to know the whole country. And you can't know the country from a high-flying jet or a speeding motorcade or a gilded office in D.C. You have to drive Route 1, hike the Appalachian Trail, cross the mighty Mississippi, and visit the beautiful Smoky Mountains. Having lived in 7 states and visited all 50 at least once before, I think I have a glimmer of understanding of who we, the people of the United States, are. But you can never stop learning. That's why I'm visiting each state again and why I will continue to do so both during my campaign and during my time in office. Now, you might be thinking, who is this guy? As I said, I'm Augustus. I was born in New York State 65 years ago. Like you, I've spent much of my life working. I've seen presidents come and go and industries rise and fall. And I've seen as the people who actually make this country run are treated like sheep or cattle. We've stopped looking at the person behind the work, and it's time we started seeing the human being again. You may be asking yourself, is he qualified? The Constitution says I am. You have to decide for yourself what qualified means to you. To me, being qualified means working as hard as I can to help the most people possible as President of the United States. Think about the people who meet in this Capitol or in Washington, D.C. How many of them are qualified in your eyes? How many of them are working to make your housing more affordable or your prescription drugs manageable? It seems to me that many representatives have forgotten the primary requirement of their jobs, remembering who they represent. They shouldn't represent the lobbyists, they shouldn't represent their party, and they definitely should not represent the ultra-rich. Your representatives and the President of the United States should represent you, period. I stand for the people, not for corporations that treat employees like replaceable parts, not for the rich who treat the law as a suggestion, and not for the special interests who think their way is the only way. I believe in a land of freedom and opportunity. Why consider an unaffiliated, unconventional, independent candidate like me? Maybe because you're exhausted. You're sick of having to choose between generic candidate A and generic candidate B, neither of whom has had to decide between a medical bill and a grocery run. While a vote for a candidate who isn't a member of one of the two major parties can be scary, isn't it scarier to have to choose between bad and worse? Consider this, though. In a true three-way race, a person with more than 33% of the votes can win the state. Choose to vote for someone who will actually work to make your lives better, instead of more of the same from the two major party candidates. Vote from compassion, not fear. I'm headed to Concord, New Hampshire next. I have 3 capitals and a few hundred more miles yet to go. When you see me in your state later this year, don't just take a picture. Come over and say hello. Tell me what's keeping you up at night. Tell me what you want for your children. I'm Augustus, and I'm here to listen. I'll see you in the state where you live. I should be wearing my dark glasses because I'm squinting a lot, but that's okay. We're testifying. Testify. We're testifying the microphone. From the first white, in the first white, quaddy head to, is it quaddy or quoddy? I'll have to look that up. From the first light that touches the nation at West Quad, let's look that up now. Well, we're going to try. Augustus, capital, no, Augusta, boop, the opioid